everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this video we are going to calculate the functional derivative of this functional. As you can see, this is a really interesting example, and we can see that we have two different kinds of fields, phi of x, phi of y. We have a green function g of xy, and this is a kind of form that appears quite frequently in quantum field theory, so that would be really fun example to do. And what we need to calculate is the functional derivative of this functional with respect to phi of x. Okay, not phi of y but phi of x, but at the end we'll see something really interesting about it, that we can follow the similar procedure to find out the functional derivative with respect to phi of y. And in particular, if the case is symmetric, then you just need to swap x by y and you'll get the derivative with respect to phi of y only if phi of x and phi of y appear symmetrically in the expression. And we can see that phi of x and phi of y appear symmetrically, and in the question it was also given that g of xy is also symmetric about x and y, so g of x is equals to g of y of x, and that property will be used later on in the solution. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now let's quickly get started with our solution and see how we can calculate the functional derivative of this particular kind of example. First of all, what we need to do is to write down the differential and integral form, and that is our starting point, and then we can proceed. So first of all, let's write down the integral form, which will start from this integral, and we have the functional with respect to phi field defined at some arbitrary point z. At the end we can just replace z by x. Okay, we can do that easily. However, in general we'll just write down z here. So then we have the test field, which is g of z and dz, and since we can see that it's in d kind of dimension, so we'll write d here as well. Alright, and that is equals to the differential form now, that is d by de of functional, and functional which has been perturbed, will perturb it by small amount, which is e times g. Okay, so that is the perturbation, and we'll also set e equals to 0 at the end. Alright, so let's see how we can implement this most general rule to our example. So let's start from the differential form. As we all know, we always start from the differential form, and we'll write d by de, and what we need to do is to calculate, functional at this argument. We know the functional at phi. We need to have phi plus e of g, so we'll simply replace wherever the phi is, you replace phi by phi plus eg. Okay, so let's do that. We have half, then we have integral ddx, then ddy. Okay, and let's proceed. Now we'll replace phi of x by the new argument, which is phi of x plus e g of x. In g will be in same space in which the original phi field was, so since it was phi of x, so it will also be g of x for this particular part. Then capital G of xy, this is the Green's function. This is not the field that has been perturbed. You can see the phi field is perturbed, so it will stay the same. And then we have phi of y, which will also be perturbed since it's phi field, just defined at different point. That doesn't matter, it will be perturbed as well because it's the same field. When you are perturbing it, wherever the phi is, it will be perturbed. So phi of y plus e g of y, keep that in mind since it will be in same space as the phi field is, so it's phi of y, so the perturbation will be in g of y as well. In that way we'll close the bracket, and this is our expression looks like, and at e equals to 0. Now we'll simplify it and let's see how we get with it. First of all, we'll write 1/2 outside and then these two integrals, and we'll just move d by de inside, since the integration is in different variable and the differentiation is in different variable. When the spaces are independent of each other, we can swap, we can interchange the order of the operators, so the integration can move, you know, and we can just move the differentiation inside, and that doesn't matter. Okay, it would have been a case of concern when it would have, if it would have been d by dx, for example. We cannot shuffle d dx and d by dx with each other, that's not allowed. However, if the variables are different, independent, then we can do that. All right, and yeah, let's multiply these things together to see what we are gonna get, because we need to simplify it. So we can write d by de here, and now let's multiply them together. First, we'll multiply phi of x with g of xy and then phi of y, since there are three quantities and g of xy is sandwiched between them, so always g of xy will appear in between. So phi of x, g of xy and phi of y. And if you see in your mind that when you'll derivate this thing with respect to e, since this quantity g of phi of x, g of xy and phi of y doesn't contain e, when you'll derivate it, it will become 0. So you can just write 0 in place of it. You don't need to write it because you know that it will become 0 at the end, for the reason that I told you. When you will derivate it with respect to e, it doesn't contain e, so it goes to 0. Now let's do the next thing. Okay, the next thing is we'll multiply phi of x, g of xy and then e g of y. It will stay because it contains e, and we'll have a non-zero derivative. So phi of x, g of xy and then e g of y plus, now e g of x, g of xy and phi of y, it will survive as well. So we have e g of x, g of xy and phi of y, and at the end the last quantity will be e g of x, g of xy and e g of y. So it will become e square g of x, capital G of xy and g of y, bracket closes, and the whole thing at e equal to 0. Now the next thing is to calculate the derivative. Okay, and let's do it here. So when you will find out d by de, on this quantity e disappears because it's de by de, so the differentiation has been done here. So it's simply e vanishes, e goes, it becomes 1. Here it will become 2e. Okay, in that way we have done the differentiation. When we'll put e equal to 0 in next step, what will happen is that it doesn't contain e, it also doesn't contain e, so they will stay the same, there is no change. However, when you will put e equal to 0 in this term, this will vanish because e equals to 0, everything vanishes, so this quantity vanishes and only this quantity and this quantity survives at the end. Alright, so let's write down the quantity that will survive after these two steps. So that is equals to 1/2 d dx d dy phi of x, g of xy and g of y plus g of x, capital G of xy and phi of y. Okay, now this is what we are left with, and just to see that what we wanted, let me write down here the integral form. So the integral form that I told you earlier, the differential form is equals to the integral form. Let's write down in here so that we know that what we are heading towards. So phi at z gz dz. Okay, so since I wanted to calculate the functional derivative with respect to phi of x, so let's write down x here so that it's even more clear the kind of form that we want to achieve at the end. So it will help us to formulate the steps according to that. So what we need to do right now, okay, d, just don't forget. Okay, so we want to separate this thing, thus the integral should appear like g of x times d dx, and anything with it will be the functional derivative. So what we need to do is to separate g of x, and you can see here that it's phi of x here, phi of y here, g of x here, g of y here. Currently it's not separable, so what we can do is to swap variables, since we know that it's symmetric, and we can do that. Where we need to swapping? Here, because we want g of x is here, but we want g of x here as well, because in final form we want g of x. So in here we'll swap x by y and y by x. Wherever there is x, write y, and wherever there is y, write x. So it will come phi of y here, and it will become y x here, and it will become x here. And okay, you'll write down that we have done swapping, and after the swapping, this is what we are left with. Okay, that's y, there is y x, and there is x here. Now the only difference between the two is that this is g of yx and this is g of xy. We'll write down that since we were given that it's symmetric, so g of xy is actually equals to g of yx, so we can simply write g of yx to be again xy. Alright, so in that way we have simplified this form, and we can see that now these two chunks are exactly equal to each other. This is g of x, g of x, g of xy, g of xy, phi of y, and phi of y. So they will simply add up, and we'll get 2 by 2 since they will add. So I'm just taking 2 outside, and d x. Okay, now I'm starting a bracket because now I know I'm plotting the scene, and it's ddy, then it's phi of y, g of xy. I'm closing the bracket because I want the g of x isolated. So yeah, that is what we have now, and this 2 cancels out just out of the scene, and now we can do the comparison. So this is ddx, this is ddx, g of x, integral, and this integral. Anything outside of it, anything other than these 3 things is the functional derivative. So it implies, the comparison implies that the functional derivative with respect to phi of x is actually equals to integration ddy phi of y g of x y. That is the functional derivative of this functional that we were given with respect to phi of x. Okay, and if I wanted to calculate, since we have seen the functional was perfectly symmetric in x and y, so in case if I wanted to calculate the, okay, let me create some space. Okay, If I wanted to calculate the functional derivative with respect to phi of y, so what I need to do is just simply swap x by y and y by x, and I'll get it. So wherever there is x, write y, and wherever there is y, write x. So d dy will become d dx, phi of y will become phi of x, and since g is symmetric in x and y, so it will not change. This is the functional derivative with respect to phi of y, and this is the functional derivative with respect to x. I hope you can see it quite clearly. And d dy, this is phi of y, and g of xy, that is it. And I hope you got it. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in comment section. I'll meet you in next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.